The world is never going to be the same again.
I'm worried about the world.
The mass chaos and crises that there was in the world, it's going to be just like that now.
This is not an accident.
How long is it going to last? Longer than, even for those of you that have some cash in the bank, way past your cash reserves.
Out of 100 people, 4 will get the message.
This thing isn't going to be over in a few weeks. This thing isn't going to be over in a few months.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, today, Bitcoin has corrected from yesterday's news of Joe Biden's executive order about crypto. You see, guys, this is a healthy correction, but we have a lot of political things to discuss today. A lot of economic indicators that we need to discuss as well. You see, guys, I viewed that executive order as something that will be incredible for the state of the crypto space moving forward. I think a lot of you guys saw a lot of positive news as well. But here's one thing I do have to say. The state of the world right now is absurd. It's actually frightening. And we have to touch on that before I continue. The Dow Jones, after recent all-time highs, has corrected quite a bit. And I think we all expect the most catastrophic stock market implosion since the Great Depression. However, due to government intervention and potentially more inflation, we could see this market in for one more pump before this cataclysmic crash. Personally, I've been bearish on the stock market ever since 2018, and that's because real life indicators told me that it's overvalued. A lot of you will probably agree with me. The stock market has been separate from reality for a long time, but it doesn't matter. These numbers on the screen, they're artificial. And maybe with this one more push up, we'll continue to see the crypto space explode in value before it implodes in value. You see, guys, remember when Fed Chair Jerome Powell stated he's going to raise interest rates? Here we have Steve Hanke, economist at Johns Hopkins, stating the break-even CPI rate for 10-year TIPS, a key U.S. inflation gauge, reached a record 2.785%. Investors are right to expect higher inflation. People are finally starting to realize that thanks to excessive money growth, inflation will be persistent, not temporary. Ladies and gentlemen, what ended up happening here over the past couple months is that the raising of interest rates have been priced into markets. But remember Jerome Powell's recent comments.
I do think it will be appropriate to raise our target range for the federal funds rate at the March meeting in a couple of weeks, and I'm inclined to propose and support a 25 basis point rate hike.
You mentioned 25 basis points. From all the analysis about what the Fed will do over the course of the next year, is 25 basis points the floor, the ceiling? Is it the speed limit? Is that the max you think the Fed could take on? How do you think of that?
So here's how I think about that. We have an expectation, those of us on the committee have an expectation that inflation will peak and begin to come down this year. And to the extent inflation comes in higher or is more persistently high than that, then we would be prepared to move more aggressively by raising the federal funds rate by more than 25 basis points at a meeting or meetings.
You see, guys, those comments were made March 2nd, 2022. And here, March 3rd, 2022, Gold Telegraph posted Jerome Powell is now saying inflation could go higher. The transitory inflation call was the worst call in the history of the Federal Reserve. And that speaks volumes. It fooled many smart people. And this was an excellent comment here by Richard Mangone. It may appear to be the worst call on the surface, But in my honest opinion, it was perfectly orchestrated by government and the Fed to help soak up the enormous debt they thrusted upon us. They purposely let it run hot, using the transitory label to quell Wall Street and the masses. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, we saw this sell-off in the stock market after the threat of interest rate hikes came into the forefront. Now, we have a bit of a crash that occurred in the stock market, which could be the extra room it needs to run up for its blow off the top moment. Ladies and gentlemen, for a long time, stocks and crypto have been correlated. We saw crypto run up yesterday. We believe Bitcoin has potentially peaked. But now, it's time for our altcoins, and specifically the ones that are regulatory compliant and climate friendly. Guys, the time is coming when crypto utility is going to be at the forefront. Remember about these blackouts, outages, internet pauses, and cyber attacks looming. The other day, an outage of Spotify, Discord, Facebook, and many other companies occurred. These have been happening a lot over the past 2 years. We've all seen it coming, and I've been one of the first people reporting to you the coordinated outages that have been happening for a long time. Remember when the IMF and 10 countries simulated a cyber attack on the global financial system? I believe it was so that the resilient cryptos that will be part of the new financial system can have their day in the sun. There will be cryptos used for the next global financial system. And the problem, reaction, solution scenario will come to the forefront after the financial system gets obliterated by cyber attacks. This is the initial predictive programming they're putting in your minds to let you know what's about to come. And I've been telling you about this threat for 3 years, while the elite classes have only been letting you know for the past 18 months. Be prepared, my savages. This moment is upon us. I believe they're going to blame the collapse of the stock markets, 1 on Russia and 2 on these cyber attacks. This is the perfect storm. They're going to say that Russia was backed into a corner. These sanctions crippled the economy. But we know what's been really going on here. You see, when Russia decided to make its recent move, they've been moving strategically. VTB Bank is offering a Chinese yuan savings account with a maximum interest rate of 8%. Things are continuing to develop quickly between Russia and China. Here, China is considering buying or increasing stakes in Russian energy and commodities companies. Russian banks are rushing to switch to Chinese card systems. BRICS nations, Russia, China, gold-backed stablecoins. Listen to these narratives play out, guys. Listen to them play out. This specific move is massive and I believe is a counter to the US banning imports of Russian oil, natural gas, and coal. You see, guys, something happened the other day that I'm going to reveal to all of you. The bull went on a date. Yes, I did. I most definitely did. And I brought my little lady over somewhere expensive. I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to do it big. So we went to the gas station. And we got that Supreme. Guys, it's so painful out here. But in all seriousness, this is going to have drastic ripple effects throughout the global economy. You see, let's make this clear. And this is no laughing matter. You see, Kentucky had a crisis happen the other day. The Kentucky's Teachers Retirement Fund lost millions of dollars because they were invested in a Russian bank. You see, we're reaching a Lehman Brothers type moment. Lehman Brothers in 2008 that had a catastrophic effect on the entire global financial system. But here's the difference. In 2022, a global financial superpower in Russia, that is the Lehman Brothers. So I wonder what the hell is going to come from that. Trickle, 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 catastrophe. That's going to be bad. The ruble has imploded. Russia is going into hyperinflation. This is not Venezuela, guys. This is Russia. And we can only imagine what's going to happen as a direct consequence of this. But in the meantime, I'm here to tell you that we may be in for a very short altcoin season. Here, we saw that the US wants to be a leader in Bitcoin and crypto. They don't want to fall behind. And in this executive order, they stated they want to look at regulations similar to their allies, meaning the UK. The UK is relatively friendly when it comes to crypto. Japan is friendly towards crypto. Cynthia Lummis, senator from Wyoming, stated a new bill is going to help integrate Bitcoin and crypto into our financial system, and it's almost ready. Here, we saw that Biden signed this executive order and tapped urgent central bank digital currency development. And guys, just after that was released, Ripple was right there, stating CBDCs have the potential to help digitize entire economies as the Internet of Value evolves. We recently hosted a roundtable discussion with industry leaders to discuss the current state and promising future of CBDCs in the Americas. And if you think Ripple isn't on the money and at the forefront and ahead of what's going on, you're out of your minds. Craig DeWitt, he stated a US CBDC may have the potential to support efficient and low-cost transactions, particularly for cross-border funds transfers and payments. XRP is ahead of the curve yet again. And yes, we are, my friends. Never forget the asset that you hold. And I think Kevin Cage said it best. Show me another asset that is being sued by the SEC, has been delisted by dozens of exchanges in the US, but was classified as a currency by FinCEN and the Department of Justice, classified as a non-security by Japan, Switzerland, UK, and more, and is still in the top 10 in the crypto space. Ladies and gentlemen, if this wasn't XRP and the same things would have been happening to it, they would have been wiped out of the crypto space, down 99.9% and into oblivion. Because this is the greatest digital asset ever created, we are still in the top 10 and actually within the top 7 digital assets. That says something. We are in a window, a moment in history right now where swift sanctions are in full effect. The financial system is going to collapse. A cyber attack was trialed on the global financial system by the IMF to combat a potential cyber attack. Oh guys, this is very real. XRP's use case was meant to be the liquidity solution to the liquidity crisis, the Lehman 2.0 crisis that will be Russia, by the way. That's going to happen. And while all of this is happening, while the world is falling apart, we see right here, right now, that Ripple and XRP continue to build, and their partners' growth is going exponential. Here, from Crypto Eddie, is a clip of the Pyypl CEO stating exactly what we all knew. Their business is growing aggressively, and it's because of Ripple and XRP's impact on it. Please take a listen from him and hear it from his mouth as you understand how powerful our asset has been.
What we do, for example, with Ripple is kind of, we have two things that Ripple, that's our one of the blockchain protocols we use for cross-border transactions. So we have two things out of that arrangement. So we have global technical connectivity to hundreds of financial institutions. And the second part is this real-time liquidity. And we do it in XRP cryptocurrency, so it's country agnostic. And these two things allow us to do real, kind of near real-time transactions at a very, very affordable cost, and without our money being stuck anywhere unnecessarily. And at the same time, we're connected to the whole world. So that's kind of, it's a practical implementation for us. We're growing so fast right now that some days we need to throttle our product a few times a day because there's just so much demand. Of course, this is this
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a nice one, and then the solution is really simple. So the next fresh funding coming, it will unleash this opportunity, and the investors will immediately sort of directly benefit from injecting a little bit of fresh capital, and whoa, we can just grow. So we'll be in 8 markets, but I'm not going to name those markets now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you this. Hearing that unleashing of value, unleashing of opportunity from another CEO that's pro XRP is powerful. Remember when JP stated XRP is poised for significant adoption after this lawsuit is over. And we suspect this lawsuit will be over sooner rather than later. We've been in this match for over 14 months now, and we're coming close to our end. The timing is no coincidence. As the world falls apart, as regulations are coming through executive order and combating financial risks, XRP will be the only crypto on the planet with full regulatory clarity. And that is a fact, my friends. You see, one thing that you all need to know is that Library is a crypto that has been sued by the SEC. And the SEC said in a verbal argument in their case that they have not asserted Bitcoin and Ether not a security. So after this case is over, XRP will be the only one with full-blown clarity. And that's massive. Ladies and gentlemen, this lawsuit was brought against XRP at the right moment in history for the right moment in history. And I absolutely love it. Executive order talks about improving cross-border payments, and I absolutely love it. Over here, we're going to be witnessing a lot of negative press about Ethereum. You see, one thing about the Ethereum crowd is that they've always stated as an argument at XRP that XRP is the banker's coin. However, the Consensus founder is accused of about $40 million in fraud involving JP. Oh, trust me when I tell you, my friends, that JP and Ethereum have been nice and cozy in bed together. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were right at the heart of this lawsuit, like many of us in the XRP community suspect. MetaMask, core Ethereum infrastructure, is known to be in bed with JP. And ladies and gentlemen, other pro-Ethereum people have been so anti-XRP, and I think a big reason for it is because they've been lobbying to keep it down. And I wouldn't be surprised if this SEC lawsuit was to give Ether some time. But they've failed. The SEC has failed. And now XRP will have the full legal clarity that we need to be able to thrive not just in the US, but worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, massive things are happening right now, and that can't be overstated. But one thing I can guarantee is that we are better prepared and have been 10 steps ahead of the 99% of the world. 99% of people are always reactive and always one step behind and feeding off the news that the classes give to the masses. We look at the news for the classes, and that is why we are becoming the new 1%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, my friends. We're going to make it to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
You want to know how to be a successful investor? The answer is stay with what you know. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to TV people, internet people. Just stay with what you know. If I told you you can only have 20 investments in your life, you would be very careful. You wouldn't be jumping in and out, listening to hot tips every day, every month. You would stay with what you know and you would become a successful investor. Everybody watching this knows a lot about something, whether it's fashion or cars or sports or something. When you see something that you know is going to be successful and exciting, don't just say, oh, that's going to be great. Don't tell all you. Then you go and you do your research and you figure out how to and if you should invest and how to invest, and then you invest. You will know it long before I will, or long before other people in the investment community. You will also know when to sell, because you will know when something's going to change again. Nobody likes to hear it. Everybody wants a hot tip. Everybody wants to be rich this month. In those days, we did nothing but focus and concentrate and dig deep and dig deep and dig deep.